Hello, it's around 8 o'clock, November 15, 2020. Welcome to the weather update, and we have a developing major weather story in our area. A squall line of severe thunderstorms is now approaching New Jersey, and you can see severe thunderstorm warnings are now in effect for much of the state of New Jersey. This line has some very strong and damaging winds. We're already seeing strong winds, so you can imagine what it's going to be like when this line gets in here, and we're going to see just incredible wind speeds when this thing hits. And you see there are a couple of showers around, just light showers. It's like a little bit of a prefrontal line that's almost formed ahead of it. And just incredible amounts of wind that we're seeing across the area. So let's go to the latest observations across the area, and you see wind gusts now up to 47 miles an hour at JFK, 47 miles an hour at the Bowie. And it looks like they just put the pink up, so you know what that means. Severe Thunderstorm Watch has now been issued for our area, and that will be through probably around until I have to look at the actual time. But this goes to show you, look at these winds, gusts of nearly 50 miles an hour out in Long Island Sound. We got wind gusts up near 38, Shirley Brookhaven Airport, 47 at on the southern part of Brookhaven. So the winds are really starting to pick up now, and let's go at least see what it's like in New Jersey with the winds, and they're also picking up. And you notice how warm it's gotten too. 45 mile an hour wind gusts in Island Heights. So this is the kind of wind that we're dealing with here. The line is right over here. It looks like the line is right over here, the squall line. So when the squall line moves through, there could be some really intense wind gusts accompanying that squall line. That are going to come through, and you can see, look at the temperature difference here. Well, maybe you don't see too much of a temperature difference, but there's some really warm air. Temperatures up into the mid-60s in New Jersey, and Long Island temperatures have risen also now into the low 60s. So getting a lot of wind out there, and there's going to be a lot of damage from this. So if we look at the radar, we're going to look at another radar right now. This is from the AccuWeather site, and you can see here, if you look here at these wind reports here, Brunswick, Ohio, 76 miles an hour. Norton Shores, Michigan, 68. Indianapolis, 66 miles an hour. This is what's heading our way. This is the radar. So let's get this on a larger part of the screen here. Show you where everything is right now. So this is the higher resolution radar, and you can see actually there's a cell. Looks like over in the sound here, but this is the meat of the line right here, right around Hazleton. So one of my viewers is Hazleton. You probably got pretty hard if he's in Hazleton, or he's back. I think he's off from school, so he probably got a pretty big storm by him, and I'll be interested to see how he fared. Hopefully he didn't lose power, but you can see here that look at this line of just purples. You're seeing purples on this line, and then you have this other like prefrontal area here too as well. So this is going to be a very intense squall line that is going to move through. And like I said, it's going to be moving into New Jersey probably I would say between 8:30 and 9 o'clock probably. So this is a really intense line. The purples are really impressive with this too to see, and it's causing damage. So let's go look at the power outage map, and you'll see Pennsylvania in the red. In Pennsylvania, there are 173,694 people without power right now, and that would be mostly in. Let's see, we can load this here. Well, the whole state pretty much. It's widespread throughout the state, but it looks like the western areas are the really hardest hit. But that doesn't mean that there aren't power outages occurring in the east. They just might not have been registered yet. And New York is also now reporting 70,000 power outages as well. 70,357, mostly in the western part of the state. So in that western end, you're seeing that, but also upstate too, we're seeing some outages too. So the outages are starting to add up, and if we go look at our own Long Island here, the outage number is now gone up to 1,000 people without power. I think we're going to hit probably 50,000 tonight. I would not be surprised. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll only be around 10 to 20,000. But you can see just scattered outages right now, all throughout the island in certain areas. That are ongoing. Looks like once again there's a larger one in East Hills. We'll be tracking this all night, and I'm sure this number is going to go way up. We'll also look at Jersey Central Power and Light. They have 2,947 people without power. including some in Ocean County. I can hear the wind in here, right? And I never hear the wind in here. So that just shows you how windy it is out there. Look at this line. I mean, this is really impressive. Really impressive line that is approaching our area. Okay, so we'll go to the railroad. The railroad's had some problems too today. That'll be another video. I just wanted to see if there's anything weather-related. I don't see anything weather-related. So, well, let's briefly talk about iota. Theta has dissipated. Now we have iota. Maximum sustained winds are 100 miles an hour. And I'm going to talk about this. Well, I do have to talk about it tonight. I mean, we have two things, major weather stories. One that's affecting us and one that's affecting Central America. So, latest advisory on iota strengthens to a Category 2 hurricane, expected to bring potentially catastrophic winds, life-threatening storm surge, and extreme rainfall impacts to Central America. As of 7 p.m., its location is 13.3 north, 79.8 west, about 110 miles east of Isla de Providencia, Colombia, or about 255 miles east of Cabo Gracias a Dios on the Nicaraguan-Honduras border. Maximum sustained winds 100 miles an hour, moving west at 9 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 964 millibars, 28.47 inches. And the extent of those hurricane force winds remain only about 25 miles from the center, but the tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 125 miles from the center. Let's go and take a look at our map here again for this, and you will see here comes a major hurricane, and it looks like landfall will be sometime tomorrow night, late tomorrow night. It looks like we'll have a landfall of iota in it looks like Nicaragua and Honduras. Hurricane warnings are in effect. This is going to be another terrible disaster for that area. So let me go to the models here, and go to the models, and we'll look and see. Well, we're going to go to the satellite first. So current storms, and look at iota now. Wow, it looks like it's getting a really well-defined eye. I'll wait for it to load here, but it's getting a very well-defined eye. Look at that. Very well-defined. Very well-defined. Look at that eye. Wow, it's really undergoing some rapid strengthening. I think this thing will be a Category 3, probably could be by midnight tonight, and a Category 4 probably sometime during the late morning hours tomorrow. This thing is strengthening pretty much like a rocket. So this thing's just taking off like a rocket. So let's go take a look at the visible / shortwave, so we get an idea of what this is. You get to see it from the visible, and then as it goes into the shortwave, you can see this thing is just winding up. It's taking off, and it's going to continue to strengthen extremely rapidly. It's just amazing how this is all happening. It really is quite alarming indeed. So let's go to the models, and you'll see here the track. You see the track pretty much. We have an idea. We have a very good idea where this is going to go. Unfortunately, the same area that Eta hit is going to get hit again, and it's just so tragic. I don't know how the people there are surviving. Nobody's even talking about how they're surviving. They're completely forgotten, and it's absolutely horrible. I'm sure that they're suffering a lot due to mudslides. Even if you're inland, you're going to have mudslides. You're going to have flooding, power outages, damage to structures. It's flooding along the coast and inland. It's just a terrible disaster what's going on. Oh, and the power just flickered here. So a little bit of a flicker going on here. So hopefully we can get through this weather update. I do have a UPS, so if it does go out, I can continue to do the weather updates. You can see some of the models. Yeah, I think this thing goes up to a Cat 4. I really do. I really do think it goes up to a Cat 4. So let's. We're not going to actually look at the model forecast with this because, let's face it, the models. I mean, we can and we will briefly. I'm going to look at it on the windy.com, but let's. Yeah, we're going to just focus on the next 24 hours in this forecast because we have just too much going on right now. All right. So let's just get back to our area, then I'll go down and we'll go look at iota. So and let's not waste our time with this. Let's use a higher resolution model, HRRR. All right, this is good enough. So you can see here's the line moving through, and it holds together, and it looks like it brings it through around between 9 and 10 o'clock, I think, for Long Island, and then it finally moves offshore. But man, and then behind it, it'll just be breezy and much colder. And you can see, whenever you see that V there like that, that I spoke about the other night, see the V in the isobars, you know that that means a lot of wind and a lot of potential for severe weather. And that's exactly what we're seeing. And if you look again at the dew point difference, you'll see how well defined that sharp that front is. Once the winds shift to the northwest, it will cut off the LLJ and these strong winds, and that front will move through right at the time. That squall line literally is the front. So once the squall line moves through, the front is through, and the wind should back off. It'll still be gusty, but not like it is right now. That is really that is what it looks like. So we can also go to the NAM now, or GFS. I'll show you, and we'll look at the temperatures. And again, this is the dew point. You see it move through here. So temperatures for tomorrow will be cooler. Will be again much cooler, more seasonable, probably low 50s. We should have a decent amount of clear sky. Looking at this, not many clouds at all for tomorrow. Look at the NAM too. Here's the NAM, and you can see fairly nice clear day, and it'll be a nice day. It'll be a nice day after the hell we're going through tonight. But first we got to get there, and that means getting this front through. So let's change. Let's go to back to GFS, and let's go back to what's going to be happening with IOTA. So let's just change this to the regions. Let's go down to the Western Atlantic, and we will go, and there's the wind already. Good. So remember that. So here we go, and you can see this thing is just going to keep strengthening and keep deepening until it winds up getting in. And this landfall looks like it's going to occur late tomorrow night. There's the landfall right there on the border. This is going to be a major disaster, and then it goes in and it kind of dissipates. But it's going to dump a lot of rain inland. There's going to be a lot of flooding. If we were to look at the total accumulated precip as to how much rain this thing is going to bring, this is, yeah, that yellow you see, that's 2 feet of rain right there. Let's go look at the NAM. All right, the NAM isn't going to cover that area. That's right. That's right, I forgot. So let's go to windy.com. And we'll take a closer look at, and then we'll update you on the current weather situation. So, I mean, I want to cover IOTA, but we have our own wind issues that we're dealing with. And you can see this is the windy.com model, uses the Euro, and you can see the winds we're dealing with here. These are sustained winds, sustained around 20 to 30, and gusts up to 50 to 60 miles an hour. And it could be even higher gusts than that. So let's go down and look at IOTA. If it would load, that would be great. All right, there it is. The rest of the map isn't loading, but there it is. I don't know what. There it is. All right, so there it is. There is IOTA right now, and you can see. Yep, that's about right. Euro is doing a good job with this as far as the strength goes, and you see it's going to get stronger. You see that area of white there. We're dealing with a Category 3 hurricane by tomorrow morning, and Category 4 perhaps by the afternoon. Oh yeah, yep, it's going to be a Cat 4. Winds are going to go up 112, 100, continuing. You see that yellow getting brighter and brighter and brighter. Max sustained winds now 124 miles an hour. It just keeps getting brighter and brighter. Here we are at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, about to make landfall right by Puerto Cabezas. And you're going to be dealing with a tremendous storm surge. This could be Category 4, maybe even get to Category 5. Euro is, I think, got a good handle on this thing, and I think this is unfortunately going to be a terrible disaster. It's going to be lashing in through the morning hours on Tuesday, and then it's finally dissipating inland. But my gosh, what a disaster this is going to be. In a year full of these, it's just another sign of the emergency. Yes, climate emergency or climate crisis. I don't even bother using the word climate change, and I'm glad that our vice president-elect said climate crisis when she was making her speech, because that's what it is. You can't even say climate change anymore. Kamala Harris said climate crisis, and that's exactly what we're dealing with, a climate crisis, especially when you're dealing with stuff like this. So let's look at let's get the radar updated again. Yep, it's moving into New Jersey right now as we speak. So again, this is the line moving into New Jersey, and it should be in the city. It's probably only going to take about a half an hour to cross, so it'll probably be in the city by 9, and then probably here in Nassau County by like 9:30, and then moving into Suffolk around the 10 o'clock hour probably, moving through Suffolk. So this is a very strong line, strong winds. There's going to be severe thunderstorm warning with this for sure. For sure, there's going to be one. Let's get the latest on the outages. It jumped again, 2,170. So power is starting to go out across the island, and I expect that the railroad is going to have issues as well from this. And let's see if they have any new issues. But I expect the main line. Main line already had problems. I expect the main line to go down again. So let's get the latest observations here. This does automatically refresh, so we can take a look at this and the winds that we have. It's going to be interesting to see these peak wind gusts here, but we have winds gusting to close to 50 miles an hour at some stations, and that's going to continue until this front moves through. If we look at exactly where the front is, you'll see even once the front comes through, you're going to have some wind gusts, but it's not as bad as ahead of the front. So immediately ahead of that front, you're going to see these winds gust way up there. We got a gust of 54 at Robbins Reef off Staten Island. So these are the kind of wind gusts we're going to be seeing, and I'll keep you updated as long as I can. Hopefully the power doesn't go out here. Hopefully I'll get lucky like during Isaias and it just went out briefly and it'll come back. But be safe out there. Oh, look at this. We got 54 mile an hour wind gust at Fairfield, 55 at Bridgeport Airport. So 55 mile an hour wind gust in Bridgeport right now. So this is an ever worsening situation. So please pay attention. You don't want to get caught out there off guard when this moves through. We have a rough couple of hours to go, and then we should be improving, especially once we get to after 10, 11 o'clock. But for now, I expect a lot of additional power outages, tree damage, and as far as fall foliage goes, it's gone. It was already gone, but this will ensure that all of it's gone. It's going to look like winter after this. So that's going to be it for this weather update. Take care, be safe, and thank you for watching.